Hello everyone, it's Dr. Paul Rose back again with another animal behaviour and welfare video. In this presentation, we're going to be looking at ancestral characteristics and why understanding ancestry, where species or breeds have come from, allows us to better comprehend their behaviour patterns, to better evaluate their welfare, and therefore to better provide them with species or breed appropriate conditions when we manage them in human care. And this example is going to use the domestic chicken. We're going to look at some of their behaviours, think about why those behaviours might be performed, and better understand what those behaviours mean in terms of the chicken's ancestry and where it has originally come from. I'd like to take you to the south of France and to my friend's farm, where he has an extensive and very expansive enclosure for his small flock of chickens. You can see that the enclosure contains planting, trees and shrubs, grasses, open space, opportunities for dust bathing, foraging, exploration, perching, scratching and socialising. But where are the chickens? And this is a common issue that has been noted in production settings as well as domestic settings like this one. Chickens like to be undercover. Even when we provide them with space and opportunities for ranging, very rarely do we see all of the flock engaging in wide-ranging exploratory behaviours. So why is this? Why have we got this flock of chickens hiding away in the bushes and remaining undercover? The chicken's ancestor is the red jungle fowl, a species of bird from Southeast Asia that occurs, like its name suggests, in the jungle. The jungle fowl has evolved as a terrestrial bird to forage on the ground. It has strong legs and thick claws for scratching around in the leaf litter. The jungle fowl feels safest when it's able to escape into dense cover. These characteristics have been retained in the domestic chicken. So whilst many breeds of domestic chicken may look different to their wild ancestor, their behavioural traits can remain the same. Older breeds of chicken, those that are more ancestral, are more likely to retain behaviours that we also see commonly performed in the jungle fowl. So the first step in understanding why my friend's flock of chickens is hiding away and not widely exploring is because its ancestor is a rainforest bird that is used to living in and feels safest in dense cover. This phenomenon of chickens remaining undercover and not using the space they are provided with, even when they are meant to be a free-range flock, is commonly noted in commercial systems. In this photograph here, you can see a commercial flock of free-range laying hens. Note the number of birds that are actively exploring the enclosure, compared to the large clumping of birds around the entrance to their indoor house. Research has shown that in some cases, no more than 50% of chickens in free-range flocks are prepared to use the wider space available to them, and in many cases, only 10% of a free-range flock will actively leave its house and go and explore the wider area of rangelands that come alongside of the house. So what's to be done about this? We need to use our understanding of the chicken's ancestry and our understanding of the behaviours inherited from its ancestors to improve the quality of the outdoor space, to make the chickens more prepared to use the free-ranging areas that are attached to their houses. By improving the quality of the outdoor space, by making it more suitable for the birds and to their liking, we should be able to promote a wider range of behaviour patterns whereby we see the chickens outside and not where we see chickens clumping around, more willing to be inside than prepared to be outside. Here are just a couple of examples of research papers that highlight the importance of considering what chickens need when we wish to try and encourage birds to use more of the space available to them. Key welfare indicators, such as feather picking, are reduced when birds have access to areas that are provided with cover, such as the canopy they would experience if they were foraging naturally in the rainforest. Providing cover increases the number of birds that are prepared to range more widely away from their indoor housing. And if we consider space use and how the birds are prepared to access outdoor range areas, we also need to think about weather conditions, temperature and climate, as this will also influence chicken comfort and therefore whether or not the birds are prepared to be outside more widely. So let's think about getting our chickens outside, more active and comfortable in leaving areas of cover. Individual bird personality in your flock is going to play a role in who leaves cover first. And these more adventurous or more bold individuals are likely to have an influence over the behaviour of other birds. Animal personality has been shown many times over in many different species to influence how birds or other animals use the environment they are provided with. A mix of personality types, of bold and adventurous or more shy and wary, increases the chances that individuals will have associations within their group that make them feel encouraged to do more and provide them with security when they wish to venture out and perhaps outside of their comfort zone. Here you can see in this video how the birds that are more bold or more prepared to be adventurous are the ones that have left cover first when they wish to go and feed. Of course, this could be mediated by degrees of hunger or motivation to go and forage. But consistent study of individual behaviour and personality types over time will allow us to work out which animals are more influential over the group's behaviour overall. And perhaps we could use enrichment to target these birds to encourage them to be more exploratory in the hope that by them being bold, they will encourage other birds in the flock to leave cover and also be bold. Exploration and ranging behaviour in free-range chickens has clearly been shown to increase when birds are provided with patches of cover away from a key resting or preening area. My friends' chickens here, whilst they are provided with indoor housing, really like this area of dense shrubs to sit up in the large part of the day, resting, preening or loafing. Smaller patches of shrubs that lead away from this key area of cover means the birds have stopping off points as they go and explore more widely. So again, we should think about bird preferences, what the animals wish to have, as well as what the animals need to have in their environment. Yes, they need a house. Yes, they need food and water. But they might also wish to have other areas of cover that are stepping stones that allow them to feel more comfortable as they range more widely in their wider enclosure. And these needs and wants might also change at different times of the day and with physiological state. Research using birds in commercial setups has shown that when we consider ancestry and the ancestral characteristics of the birds to be in a flock, to have a social hierarchy, the traditional pecking order, and to use cover, all of this information can enable farmers to increase the use of open spaces by free-range flocks. In this example here, you can see shade netting and shade cloth has been used as runways away from the main house that the birds can follow if they want to use wider areas of the pasture or rangelands that they have been provided with. The runways made of the shade cloth make the birds feel safe and secure and give them the same feelings of being comfortable as if they were foraging in the rainforest, just like their jungle fowl ancestors. And here in this example, commercial poultry have been provided with stepping stones, patches of cover that they can utilise in a wider, more open field. The birds will venture out from these smaller patches of cover, but can retreat underneath them if they feel threatened. Such patches of cover increase the chicken's abilities to regulate their own behaviour patterns, to feel safer from potential predators, and to therefore get more comfortable over time with using more of the space available to them. When other birds in the flock, perhaps shyer individuals, see more bold or adventurous birds using the space more widely and more freely, they are also encouraged out of the main house and can therefore improve their own behavioural diversity and activity patterns. So cover for chickens is important. They have evolved to live in a habitat that provides them with opportunities for protection from the elements and protection from predators by being under cover and potentially camouflaged. By living in a social group, a mixture of personalities and behaviour patterns encourage the flock to roam more widely. And just the same as we can see in the wild ancestor of the chicken, we need to provide a mixture of different habitat types in our enclosures. Some areas of dense cover, some areas of open space, and a bridge between these dense areas of cover and open space to enable our chickens to move between them more freely. Here you can see a pair of wild jungle fowl on the edge of the rainforest. The birds can use the open and more closed spaces freely and therefore always retreat if they feel threatened. The same type of approach should be used when designing enclosures for domestic chicken flocks. Whilst the domestic chicken is a human-created breed, it is important to remember that all of these characteristics shared by the wild red jungle fowl that come from its ancestors are really important to how we manage it under captive or domestic conditions. If we are inferring chicken welfare from behaviour and behavioural needs, our understanding of what chickens need to do and when they do these behaviours can only come from an understanding of the things inherited from their past. And therefore we can adapt and mould husbandry and management accordingly to better provide for a flock's needs. I hope you've enjoyed this short presentation that has explained the ancestral characteristics of an animal and how understanding ancestry can better provide for husbandry and management when we're keeping such species under human care. Thank you very much.